So this is the problem we were doing for homework. We have had a little bit of trouble on the circles here. So what I've done is the same as we've done with all the other problems. We've taken the circle and I've drawn a square lightly around it. I've divided my circle into 30s and 60s, which gives me points on the curve, and I have marked these vertical lines here in orange, just that you can see that they're the lines we're going to be transferring into our isometric view. So looking, just zoom out that a little bit, looking at our isometric, I've set up our isometric drawing here. Now what we need to do is draw this box here, bring it forward, draw the circle in it, and then carry it back into this surface here. So looking at this circle here, it's down 15. So if I measure down 15 down along the edge of that front edge there, and I draw my line back. Okay, now along that line is the center of the circle. So again, if I find halfway along that line there, that gives me 15 there. That's the center of the square or the cube that I need to draw. And as the circle is radius 10, the square around it will be 20 by 20. So I go 10 mil either side of that, and 10 mil above and below it. And I can actually draw my square into which my circle is going to fit. Now I'm drawing a little bit heavier, just so it'll show up. So there is where that circle is going to sit on that surface. Now what I need to do is project that square forward, just to make it into a 3D object. So come through there at 30 degrees. Don't really... So how far am I coming forward? I'm coming forward that much there, which should be about 10 mil off the drawing. So now I'm going to come forward there and bring all those lines forward. And mark my 10 mil. Carry that line across. Carry it down. Carry it across the front, 30 degrees, and back up on the other side. So there is that box sticking out of the front. Now that's going to hold my radius 10 circle. So let's start drawing it here. If I carry that center line through here, that's a point on the circle there. And if I carry it down here, that's a point in it there. So if I just mark those, just so they stand out a bit, that's going to be a point in the circle there and there. Where I drew my center line at the back, if I carry that forward onto the front of the box there, and carry that line across, that's going to give me a point there and there. Okay, I might just zoom in a little bit on that. Okay. Now I need to take some of my points, and these are small, so you need to be careful. So what I'm doing, the first thing is I'm setting on my compass the distance from 0 to 1. So 0, where is 0? There is 0 in there in the middle. To 1. And there's another one this side here. So I'm just going to draw that vertical line there. And then I get the height of 1, which is here. And there's the height of 1 there. Okay, now that probably would be enough to draw my curve, but I have another one there. Sorry, I can actually draw that on the other side as well. So there's one, and there's one there. So that's a point there and there. Okay, now they're already points at the also points at the back, but we're not going to worry too much about them now. There is another point here that I can get, which is 2. Now it's quite small, it's hard to get it, but from 0 to 2 gives me a vertical line there. From 0 to 2 gives me a position for a vertical line here, and I just draw that line in there like that and draw it in here. Now I need to get the height, and it's very, very small. The height of 2 is to there. So there's the height of 2 there, and there, there, and there. Now, just to draw in my curve, what it's going to look like. So draw it in lightly enough first. Now it doesn't look just right. It seems to be a point off a little bit somewhere, but because it's so small, that's kind of where some of the inaccuracy is probably coming, because it's a little bit off. It doesn't look quite as even as it should. Now, all of those points go back in. So each point that I have there, they all go back in that distance there. So that point there goes back into there. There's the point at the top. So that's a portion of the curve there. There's a point there. And there's that point there on the back. So that one there travels back there. So it goes from here around. Okay? And then that one there at the back goes back that same distance. So draw it in lightly. That looks a bit flatter there than it should. Now, with my 30-degree set square, I can join that edge there and join that edge there, and now I can heavy it in. There's that piece sticking out from the side. Now I can actually finish that edge there and finish that there. Now it's small and it's hard to get at it, but that's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Now, how do I get that square in here? Well, if I bring the center line that I drew first right up to that top edge, we'll just zoom in a little bit on that. Okay, and I carry that line across here to where it corresponds here. I can bring that line down the front. Now there is the outside edge of my box there, the first box that I drew onto that flat surface there. If I bring that surface, bring that line across to there and across to here, and run that along to that edge, and run that along from the corner to that edge there, that lets me draw in the top and bottom of the square that's going to hold my circle in here. And actually now I can carry that line back till it hits there, and that gives me a vertical line there, and I can carry that line back there, and that gives me the square. And I'm not sure how well that stands out. It's not too bad. Okay, so straight away I can draw that point there. No, actually that doesn't look great. Let me see. Yeah, that line is a little bit off. So I have that point there and there. Now when I carry that line back, it gives me that point there. And now when I carry that line back, it gives me there. So there's the top, bottom, left and right. That's going to, my curve is going to fit in here. So I just need to get a couple more points. So something I can do now is all of those points that I got on the front, they're all going back the same distance. They're all moving back the same distance. So what I can do is bring back my original points here. So there was a point. Carry that point back and put that on my compass. That gives me a point there. Here, there was a point there. Put that distance on my compass, carry that back. That gives me a point there. And there's one here at the bottom, that one there. Carry that one back, and that gives me that one there. Now I don't need to go the whole way around the back, so I can draw in that curve here. And what that looks like when I carry the lines forward 30 degrees, I'll get a line there, and just skimming off the edge of it there, I'll get a line there, and now I can heavy that in. And that's that finished.